Hi everyone. Today we're doing notes for 3.5. This is equivalent statements and variations of conditional statements. So we're first going to talk about equivalent compound statements. So equivalent compound statements are made up of the same simple statements and have the same corresponding truth values for all true-false combinations of these simple statements. So we have to show that P or Q and if not Q, then P are equivalent. So you can see they're both made up of the simple statements P and Q. And so we're going to show that the truth values are the same for all the possible combinations. So first we define not Q. So this is going to be false, true, false, true. And now we're going to find P or Q. And we're also going to find if not Q, then P. So for P or Q, we're putting these first two columns together with or. True or true is true. True or false is true. False or true is true. And false or false is false. Next, we're going to do if not Q, then P. So here we have if false then true is true. If true then true is true. If false then false is true. If true then false, this one is false. And so here you can see these both have the same outcome. So we can use the equivalent sign, looks like a triple equal sign, to show that these two statements are in fact equivalent. So what we have to do now is we have to use the result from part A to write a statement that is equivalent to I attend classes or I lose my scholarship. So this is P or Q. And so if I want to write an equivalent statement here, I can write if not Q, then P, because we just showed that these are equivalent according to our truth table. So take a minute and I would like you to write the equivalent statement. Okay, so here we would say if not Q, so if I do not lose my scholarship, then our P, which is I attend classes. Okay, number two, we have to show that the negation of the negation of the negation of P is equivalent to the negation of P. So we're going to start with the single negation, and this is going to give us false and true. Next, let's find the double negation. Oops. So now this is going to be true and false. Finally, we can find the triple negation. So negation of negation of negation of P. And that gives us false and true. So here we can see this one, negation of P, and this one, negation of the negation of the negation of P. These are in fact equivalent. So we can say the double negation of a statement is equivalent to the original statement. And you can also see that if I point that out with these two, here's your P, and here is, this is equivalent to the double negation of P. Okay, so now we have to select the statement that is not equivalent to, if it is raining, then I need a jacket. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to write each of these out symbolically. So if it's raining, then I need a jacket. That's P, arrow, Q. If P, then Q. For A, It says it's not raining or I need a jacket. So this is negation of P or Q. For B, I need a jacket or it's not raining. So this is Q or not P. If I need a jacket, then it's raining. This is if Q, then P. If I do not need a jacket, then it's not raining. This is if not Q, then not P. So we have a truth table here that we have to fill out that will help us decide which statements are equivalent or not equivalent to the original. If it's raining, then I need a jacket. So I'm going to help you with the top here. So we're going to have to find the negation of P. We're going to have to find the negation of Q. And then our original statement, if P, then Q. Then we have to find each of our other statements. So we have if not, or I'm sorry, the negation of P or Q is our statement A. We have Q or not P. It's our statement B. We have if Q, then P. That's our statement C. And then we have if not Q, then not P, which is our statement D. So let's start this off together to make sure that we have these, at least our original statement correct. So negation of P is going to be false, false, true, true. Negation of Q is going to be false, true, false, true. And if P then Q, we have if true then true is true. If true then false is false. If false then true is true. If false then false, that's true. So we need to show which statement is not equivalent to this. So take a few minutes and fill out your truth table for A, B, C, and D, and see if you can figure out which statement is not equivalent to the original. Okay, so for A, you should have gotten true, false, true, true. For B, true, false, true, true. For C, true, true, false, true. And for D, true, false, true, true. So we can see the only one that doesn't match is C. So this one, if I need a jacket, then it's raining. That is not equivalent to if it's raining, then I need a jacket. All right, next we're going to be writing the contrapositive for a conditional statement. And so the contrapositive of a conditional statement is a statement obtained by reversing and negating the antecedent and the consequent. So in other words, we're switching and negating the beginning and ending parts of the statement. So here we would say P, if P, then Q. This is going to be equivalent to if not Q, then not P. The truth value does not change when doing the contrapositive. And you can see this right here. Here's if P, then Q. Here is if not Q, then not P. And so we can see if we look at the truth values up here that those are in fact equivalent. Okay, so we have to write the contrapositive for each of the following statements. So let's do 2 of these together and then I'll have you try some of them. If you can read this, then you're driving too closely. So the contrapositive would be if you are not driving too closely, then you cannot read this. Let's do C together. This one says if all students are honest, then supervision during exams is not required. So here we have a quantifier. So that's why we have to be careful with this one. We have all. So let's write the contrapositive. So we would say if supervision during exams is required, then remember we're doing the negation. Negation of all is some are not. So we would say then some students are not honest. Let's do D together for this one. Again, we have to negate and switch the antecedent and consequent. So we would have Q, arrow, and then P or R. So if Q, then P or R. What I would like you to do now is take these examples and look at them if you need help and fill out the contrapositive for B. Okay, for this one, you would have if it is not time to do the laundry, then you have clean underwear. Okay, next we're looking at the converse and inverse. So the converse of a conditional statement is a statement obtained by reversing the antecedent and the consequent, but not negating them. The inverse of a conditional statement is a statement obtained by negating the antecedent and the consequent, but not reversing them. All right, so let's fill in all the variations of our conditional statements here. So our conditional statement is if P, then Q. So again, in English, if P, then Q. Our converse, we just talked about, this is if Q, then P. So again, if Q, then P, where we reverse the antecedent and consequent, but we do not negate them. The inverse, this is if not P, then not Q. So if not P, then not Q. So this is where we are negating the antecedent and consequent, but not reversing them. Last, we have the contrapositive. This is if not Q, then not P. Again, if not Q, then not P. So this is where we both reverse and negate the antecedent and the consequence. So here is our last thing for today. We have to write the converse, inverse, and contrapositive of the following statement. If you are in Iran, then you don't see a Club Med. So let's write this symbolically. If you are in Iran, then you don't see a Club Med. So I'll help you with the symbols, then I'll have you write these in English. So for the converse, remember, we're going to reverse the antecedent and consequence. So the converse would be, if not Q, then P. The inverse is where we negate the antecedent and consequent. So for the inverse, we would have, if not P, then Q. And last is our contrapositive. This is where we reverse and negate the antecedent and consequent. So this would be if Q, then not P. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to write these 3 conditional statements. Okay, the converse would be if you don't see a Club Med, then you are in Iran. Our inverse would be if you are not in Iran, then you see a Club Med. And our contrapositive would be if you see a Club Med, then you are not in Iran. And that's the end of our notes for today.